Have you ever noticed that the more you evolve, the fewer people remain around you? It's no coincidence, and it's not because you're doing something wrong. There's a philosophical and psychological reason for this, and the Stoics knew it 2,000 years ago. If you feel lonely despite being intelligent, or perhaps because of it, this video will change how you see your own life. The loneliness of the intelligent man isn't the loneliness of having no one. It's the loneliness of being surrounded by people, yet connecting with none of them. You're at a table full of people, but the conversation is empty. Everyone's talking about the game, about gossip, about nothing, and you're sitting there, feeling out of place, wondering if the problem is you. And you've probably tried to fit in. You've tried to feign interest in conversations that don't stimulate you. You've laughed at jokes you didn't find funny. You've stayed quiet while people said absurd things just to avoid being the annoying one who corrects everyone. But that gets tiring. And in the end, you prefer to be alone than to keep spending energy pretending you care. What no one told you is that this isn't a flaw in you. It's a natural consequence of how you think. And the Stoics experienced this firsthand. The reality is brutal, but simple. Most people don't think deeply about anything. And I'm not being arrogant, I'm being descriptive. Most live on autopilot. They work, consume, repeat opinions they heard somewhere, constantly seek validation, avoid discomfort. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different way of existing. But when you start questioning things, when you truly pause and ask why about everything, you automatically distance yourself from that way of life. You don't accept ready-made answers. You don't follow the herd without understanding the path. And this makes you incompatible with most social interactions, which are built precisely on not questioning. Think of it this way. Average social conversation works like a tennis match, where everyone already knows the plays. Someone talks about the weather, you agree. Someone complains about work, you validate. Someone repeats a popular opinion, you nod your head. It's a ritual of belonging, not of real exchange. And you, who spent the night reading philosophy or thinking about the meaning of your existence, simply can't play that game anymore without feeling like you're lying to yourself. Furthermore, intelligence brings awareness, and awareness brings pain. You see the contradictions in people. You see the hypocrisy, the superficiality, the social masks. You notice when someone is lying, deluding themselves, self-sabotaging, and you can't simply ignore it. This pushes you away, because people don't want to be seen that way. They want comfort, not truth. And there's another factor. Intellectual ambition leads to social sacrifice. While everyone else is at the bar, you're studying. While everyone else is partying, you're building something. People interpret this as arrogance or disinterest, when in reality, it's just a different set of priorities. Gradually, you stop being invited. And when you are, you realize you no longer care to go. The Stoics not only understood this, they lived it intensely. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world, Emperor of Rome, surrounded by thousands of people every day. Yet he wrote in his meditations, "Soon you will have forgotten all things, and all things will have forgotten you." He was at the top of the world and felt profoundly alone because no one around him thought like him. No one questioned like him. No one sought wisdom like him. Seneca, one of the wealthiest and most influential men in Rome, spent years in forced exile, away from everything and everyone. And it was there, in solitude, that he produced his best works. He wrote, "The crowd is proof against wisdom." He knew that being surrounded by people doesn't mean being accompanied, and that true companionship only happens between minds that meet at the same level of depth. And Epictetus, who was a slave before becoming a philosopher, taught that the wise man is self-sufficient. He didn't depend on external validation. He didn't need people to understand his philosophy to live it. He knew that solitude was the price of mental autonomy, and he paid that price willingly. The Stoics had a concept called cosmopolitanism, the idea that you are a citizen of the world, not just of your city or social group. But this cosmopolitanism in practice also meant not fully belonging anywhere. You see beyond borders, beyond tribes, beyond the petty social wars that occupy the lives of ordinary people. And this isolates you. They didn't see this as a tragedy. They saw it as liberation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You can choose solitude at any moment by withdrawing into yourself." Solitude wasn't a problem to be solved. It was a space to be inhabited. A place where you could think, reflect, grow, without the interference of the constant noise of others' opinions. Stoicism teaches you that the loneliness of the intelligent man isn't a character flaw. It's a side effect of lucidity. And instead of fighting against it, you should learn to use it to your advantage. So what do you do with this? First, stop trying to fix something that isn't broken. You don't need more friends, you need better friends. Quality has always triumphed over quantity. One friend with whom you can have real conversations is worth more than 50 superficial acquaintances. Second, you transform solitude into a strategic advantage. While everyone else is distracting themselves with social drama, online validation, gossip, and futility, you are building, studying, evolving. Solitude gives you time, and time is the most valuable resource there is. Third, you develop emotional autonomy. The Stoics called this autarky, the ability to be happy regardless of external circumstances. You don't need people to understand you to feel good about yourself. You don't need approval to follow your path. This is true freedom. And finally, you learn to select who you spend your energy on. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. Not every interaction needs to be profound. You can interact with people on different levels, superficially when necessary, deeply when possible. But you will never again force yourself to feign interest just to belong. The truth is this: intelligent men are solitary because they chose a different path. And every different path is, by definition, walked by few. But these few are the ones who truly matter. And you will find them, not at parties, not in generic social groups, but in places where deep thought happens. In books, in specific communities, in rare but true conversations. When you finally find someone who thinks like you, who questions like you, who seeks wisdom like you realize that all the time spent alone was worth it, because that connection is real. It's not performative, it's not superficial, it's not disposable. It's the kind of friendship the Stoics cultivated, based on virtue, on mutual respect, on a shared pursuit of an examined life. And here's what few understand: the loneliness of the intelligent man isn't punishment. It's preparation. While you were alone, you weren't wasting time. You were building yourself, developing mental clarity, strengthening your character, refining your ideas. You were becoming someone who doesn't need crowds to feel validated. And this autonomy you gained in solitude is what makes you immune to manipulation, immune to social drama, immune to opinions that don't matter. Marcus Aurelius spent years alone with his thoughts. And this made him not just an emperor, but a philosopher. Solitude didn't weaken him. It strengthened him. The Stoics teach you that solitude isn't the end of the game. It's the beginning of autonomy. And autonomy is power. If you've made it this far, and this video resonated with something real inside you, hit the like button now. It's not just about the algorithm. It's about recognizing that you're not alone on this journey. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon because every week there's new content about Stoicism applied to real life. No empty motivational talk, no cliches. Just raw truth and philosophy that truly works. And tell me in the comments, do you feel this way? Did you choose solitude or did it choose you? Comment autarky if you understood the message and are ready to turn your solitude into an advantage. See you in the next video. And remember, the path of the intelligent man is solitary, but never weak. See you soon.